Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live stream. How is everybody? Nice few people in the chat there already. Nice to see a bit of chat already going on about tonight's topic, which, for those that don't know, is the most anticipated games of 2019. And when I say games, I mean tabletop games. So be that wargaming, be that miniature games, be it card games, board games, whatever is your shtick. So, how's everybody's weekend been? I had quite an eventful weekend. I was at a Kings of War Vanguard Cry Havoc event. I know I saw that Jay is in the chat as well there tonight as well. He was down at Warhammer World at the weekend for the Age of Sigmar doubles event. So it'll be good to find out how he got on there and what he thought of it. So what was everybody else up to? Were you doing any hobby at the weekend? Did you pick up any new toys? What were you all up to? So let's say hello to the people we've got in the chat. So Mark was in nice and early. I don't know if he's around still at the minute, but good evening, Mark, if you are, and thanks for popping in early. We've got Chris in as well from Carson's Bazaar there. Good evening, mate. How are you doing? We've got Joseph Whittaker in. Good evening, Joseph. Steve Evans is in as well. Good evening, Steve. Just saw Steve on Facebook. He is continuing with his Kings of War. I think it was Forces of Nature Army, wasn't it, mate? Let me know if I'm wrong. Interested to hear how you're getting on with that. Christian is in as well. Good evening, Christian. Hope you're well, mate. James J in as well. He says Most Wanted Games Kill Team Arena. Hello and good night. Hello, James. If only it was that easy, these live streams will be a lot shorter. But yeah, good evening, mate. Welcome to the chat. We've got Top Table Gaming in as well. The legends that are Top Table Gaming. I think it's Jay that's in the chat there, but please let me know, Steve, if it's you. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're well too. We've also got Thomas C in. Says good evening all. Hello, Thomas. Christian and Chris having a bit of a chat there. Kieran's in as well. Happy Monday evening, folks. 1,000 apologies, Kieran. So Kieran was at the event at the weekend as well, the Kings of War Vanguard event. And in my haste to get on the road and get off back home from Manchester to Newcastle, I forgot to come and say goodbye. So, goodbye for Saturday, mate. It was really nice to catch up with you, and I hope to catch up with you again soon. Hope you had a good day. And to be fair, you finished above me. I saw the table today, the finished table where everybody finished. I got severely let down by those, I forget what it was called now, but when you roll on the table to see how much gold you got, that severely let me down. We've got, let's have a look, got Phil Wilkinson in as well. He says, good, drunk and ready from Deadpool 2. Nice, dude. Sounds like you're starting the night off the right way, mate. Nice to see you. We've got James J in as well. He says, Killzone, Games Workshop, former business model. Everyone dies. We've got Jack in from Shaggy Wargaming. Good evening, Jack. We've got, we've said Phil there. Tony, I knew I'd seen Tony's name though. Hey up, Tony. How are you, mate? Hope you're well, buddy. What have you been up to this weekend? Have you been getting much gaming in? We've got Marcus in as well. Says, hello all. Hope all is well. Good evening, Marcus. Really nice to see you. I think it might be the first time you've been in the chat, so welcome. Hope you have a good evening. We've got Malkavian in. Good evening, buddy. How are you? I see you were choices about the weekender. Do I play it in the Drowned Earth event? Do I do something else? Jay is saying the AOS team event was great fun. What a community. Teams of 4 people and top laps for all. I may have left with squids. That would explain why you're building tonight, mate, then, Mark says he's there. Nice one, Mark. We've got Rainan as well. Says, hey there, long time no see. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. How was your trips away? It was Brazil you've been to, wasn't it? Was it Brazil? Have I imagined that? I'm sure you told me it was Brazil. I'm sorry for giving you a bit of a shock this morning when you expected a live stream about 12 hours ago. I was busy setting it all up and somehow YouTube kind of published it while I was still editing it. So everybody thought I was live streaming at 9 AM this morning. I definitely wasn't. I was about to start work at that point. Thomas is saying he's looking forward to find out more about FFG's just announced Journeys into Middle-earth. I'm sure that'll crop up in the chat, buddy. We've got Adam in. Says, g'day, legends. G'day to you too, Adam. Hope you're well, mate. Kieran says, no apologies necessary, chap. You had a trip to do. I did have a trip to do, mate, but no excuse for not saying goodbye. We've got Battle Knight in. Good evening, Jason. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. If anybody hasn't checked out Battle Knight's YouTube channel, if you go and click on it now, you'll be able to see how, I'm sure if you hover over his name in the chat, there'll be 3 little dots at the right hand side. And if you click on them 3 little dots, make sure you do it in another screen so you don't leave this one. But you can go to his channel and drop him a subscription. Jason does some really, really good board gaming reviews and stuff as well. So definitely worth checking out if you're into your board games. Tony's saying he had a great Guild Ball tournament at the Game Forge yesterday. Missed you by a day, mate. I was in there on Saturday. It's the first time I've been to the place, and it's really nice, actually. I'll definitely have to make a trip to go back. I did see the photograph, actually, on the Forge's Facebook page, but I must admit I didn't look particularly closely to see who was there, so I'll have to go back and check out for your picture, mate. Exploration rules, that was it, Kieran. I got severely hampered on that. After game 3, I had won 2 games and lost 1, and I think I was off, I was almost on the bottom table, purely on the fact that I rolled terrible on the exploration rules. Peter says, hi, I'm late. Sorry, I was watching Big Bang Theory. I'll forgive you, Peter. Seems you're a nice lad. Welcome to the chat again, buddy. We've got Sean in as well. Skullmunch says, hey, dudes, also looking forward to the new FFG game, Journeys in Middle-earth. So, I won't get onto it too much, but I do want to discuss, is it just the fact that it's a Lord of the Rings game? Is that what's exciting you about it? Have you seen a gameplay video of it and that's telling you something different? Because it can't be just about miniatures, otherwise everybody would have rushed out and picked up the Games Workshop stuff. So what is it? What is it? Chris is saying he'd like to see FFG using the companion app system more. Do they have any games other than XCOM that use one? The ones I know of, mate, is they definitely have a companion app for Imperial Assault, the Star Wars game, and it allows you to play solo because it drives the AI of the Empire. And they also have a really, really good one for Mansions of Madness as well. Matt Mountain, good evening, Matt Mountain. Hashtag Mantic Monday, Matt Mountain. He says he's late. He was airbrushing. BlackJack, how's it going? Nice to see you, buddy. Nice to join in the chat. How did the Mantic Vanguard game go? Did Rob win, or did Martin manage to escape with the dragon's egg? I couldn't watch it all the way to the end, but it was really good watching it, actually. I quite enjoyed it. Christian's just saying it is Mansions of Madness app. It's an amazing game. Thomas said, at least if I read it right. That's right, buddy. We've got Rain saying Brazil and Argentina. Do you know what it is? I remember you saying Brazil, but then I remember you showing me a picture of penguins, and my head kind of got all confused there. We got Tim in as well. Good evening, Tim Kelly. Says, hey, Andy and all. Chris is saying to Thomas there, I know it's basically digital cards for an AI, but it's something that can be updated. Yeah, so what they do is they also do new scenarios and things as well. So, yeah, they work well. Tim says those new Star Wars Legion vehicles look mint. I've not actually seen them yet. I saw Jay from Tabletop Oddity. I saw he posted a video saying vehicles have been confirmed, but I've not had a chance to watch it yet, so I'll have to catch up with that one. Where are we now? Marcus says, thanks, first time in the live chat. Recently discovered your channel. Love the range of games you discuss. Thank you very much, Marcus. There's plenty of channels out there that focus on 1 or 2 particular games. I just like to play all sorts of different things, so that's what the channel's about, buddy. Where are you from, Marcus? Let me know. Are you in the UK? Are you in the US? Whereabouts are you based, mate? Nice to find out a little bit more about new viewers as well. Phil says, what's your favourite 3 films? Tell you what, let me get through the chat a little bit and I'll come back to that one. Rain says, anyone else here waiting anxiously for Batman Gotham City Chronicles? Me. Can't wait. Do you know, Rain, have you got any idea when it's due to ship? I have no idea. I've been back on the Kickstarter and I can't even find where it says when it was due. I know they said, I think there's a lot of the stuff's already been produced now, so it can't be very far away now. We've got Robert Zunkin as well, says, okay, I made it. Nice to see you, Rob. How are you doing, mate? How's Mrs. Zunk as well? She's still doing a bit more gardening, mate. Say hi to her for me, please. Mark says, yeah, he's looking forward to Batman as well. Jason there saying, thanks for the shout out, mate. My board game reviews are on my Gaming Nights channel. Oh, do you know what? Sorry, buddy. I had a feeling. I didn't realise there was 2 channels there, but check out Game and Night's channel as well, and that's the one. Well, we got Michael in. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what you've just said there, mate. He says, "Is head gezellig here?" Got no idea what it means, mate. But hi there anyway. We've got Sean saying, "I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so that's a massive factor. Not much being said about the gameplay other than it's app-driven games like Mansions of Madness. The 2 scales look interesting." I've seen the original sort of trailer for it, but I've not seen much more about it yet. Mark says the Mantic game was a draw. I'm pretty sure they played against each other in the last round of the Cry Havoc tournament. I'm pretty sure they played a draw then as well. Kieran says, "Not too sure about the Lord of the Rings game. Initial hex tile system doesn't really evoke Middle Earth for me, and there are plenty of other Lord of the Rings games out there." I think the hex tile thing feels like it's probably been some kind of derivative of the Fallout board game that they do as well. That's on hex tiles as well. Where are we up to? Thomas is saying, excuse me. Thomas is saying, Chris, yeah, it's a great idea for random events and updates. Big plus for him. We've got Leon as well, scouting the web. Says, "Hello, it's been a while. Hello, buddy. How you doing, mate? I saw you'd had your first game of Necromunda as well, and that you're getting your claws into that now. It's getting its claws into you, I should say. Hope you're enjoying it, mate." Thomas is saying to Kieran the hexes feel a bit off, but he's willing to give the stuff a go. Chris is saying the War of the Rings is a fun game. Play for the first time of the week with his brother, and now he needs to watch the 3rd film to find out if it ends like in the game. Lee said he's building his Dark Elf Blood Bowl team tonight. Yeah, so Lee's just recently signed up with the local Blood Bowl league. Who I think I'm right in saying, Lee, that they've been playing for quite some time. I'm sure that group's been going for quite some time. We got James J saying, "What's your thoughts on the Harry Potter game apart from the price?" I've not personally played it, mate. I know Lee picked it up, scouting the web there, so he might have a bit more information on it. The price is quite pricey. The miniatures, whilst the original sculpts look absolutely fantastic, I've heard some real mixed reviews. Some people getting some bad casts from it. The game didn't blow me away when I saw the original kind of playthroughs that Mark Latham did for the Night Models channel. However, I haven't played it, so I can't really comment. But it didn't sell it to me anyway. I never went and bought it based upon that. Rain says there's a new DC series on Netflix, Titans or something. Have any of you checked it out? Robin as a man, superhero seems extremely lame. I've not seen it, but I saw that it had been advertised, and I saw somebody commenting on Facebook that they'd started watching it and they were enjoying it. So it's something I'll have to catch up on. I haven't got Netflix at the minute. I got to a point where I felt like I'd watched everything on Netflix, and so I cancelled it just before Christmas. And of course, since then, there's been the new Black Mirror. Is it the Bandersnatch? I've not seen that yet, although I know the premise of how it works. And now obviously Titans as well, so I might have to sign back up again for it. Mark thinks that Batman is April. That would be quite cool. April. We've got Hellboy coming in March. Batman in April. That will be all right. We've got Bazza in as well from Underdog Painting. It says, "Hey peeps, how Bazza mate? How you doing?" Kieran saying War of the Rings, a cracking game there. Christian said he's watched 3 episodes of Titan. Not sure about it at the moment. Definitely aimed at older viewers. How much older, mate? Older than us? Michael said Spawn, mate. You said and there's a bit of fun here. There isn't a word for gezellig in other languages. Bloody hell. Phil saying your favourite paint colour. I love painting Wild Rider Red. So I love painting red as a colour, and I have to highlight it with Wild Rider Red. That's my favourite paint colour. There you go. Marcus is in Scotland. Cold, dark and miserable up here. Well, I'm in Newcastle, mate. It's cold, dark and miserable here as well. So yeah, you're amongst good company, mate. Chris is saying to Kieran he's looking forward to another game. Try the expansions. Kev went in all in on it. And Michael is saying to Rain, it's a good watch, not like standard superhero series. Yeah, I quite like watching Gotham when it first started as well. It went a little bit off track later on, and I think there's a kind of spin-off series called Wayne, I think, isn't it? I think it's called Wayne. Yeah. So Lee's saying he's only had one game in Necromunda and he's hooked already. And yes, the league is on season 20. That's dedication, that isn't it? Dedication to a game. 20 years of that. Tony is saying definitely looking forward to getting Batman and Joan of Arc. I still can't believe Joan of Arc hasn't shipped yet, mate. It feels like a million years ago. And I'm sure at the UK Games Expo last year I saw a load of Joan of Arc stuff. I thought that had already shipped. I can't believe that's still there waiting to go. We've got DJ Todd Harris. Good evening, Todd. Haven't spoken in a little while, buddy. How you doing? He says, greetings all. Long time no see. Finally finished painting my Hayes Negan minis and scenery. You'll have to get some pics up, buddy, so I can have a look at those. Jason saying it's really good. It's gritty and brutal, but excellent. Better check it out then. Chris is saying his oldest brother has the shop with Rob. He's really enjoying Titans. Lee says Harry Potter's still in the box. My models were okay bar 2 snap ones, which did get replaced. At this moment in time, I might just be painting some minis up when I'm after a change. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to do that, mate, and just have a little bit of change of pace. Bazza says he's hungover today. It was his work's Christmas party yesterday. That's right, Christmas party in January and on a Sunday, mate. Bloody hell. How much more wrong could it be? Lee saying hopefully gets to play it a little. I do know some locals with it. Steve says, yep, Forces of Nature's going well. About 1,500 points after only 14 days. You need to paint up mine, mate, if that's how fast you're going. Painting Toad King's Shambling Mound models tonight. I'm going to use them as forest shamblers. Chris says he loves corn red. Such a good strong colour. But I love painting flesh tones. I think I prefer Mephiston red over corn red. Corn red's it's a bit dark for me, I think. I like to have it with a bit of a lighter start, I think. We've got Reluctant Artsy in. Good evening. How you doing? I don't think we've had you in the chat before. I could be wrong. But welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a good evening. He says he's loving Kill Team. His first Warhammer 40k game. Are there skirmish games you were looking forward to this year? Yes, there are. And I'll come on to them in a bit. Rain says, have you finished Pandemic Legacy already, Andy? There are rumblings that Season 3 might be released this year. No. If I'm completely honest, I haven't. As you can see behind me, there is a whole host of games that have been grabbing my attention as well. Me and my wife will go and finish Pandemic Legacy Season 1. However, we've been playing quite a few other bits of games as well. So, no, I haven't finished it yet is the answer. Robert is saying he's pre-ordered Mortal Gods core set this morning. Looks really good, doesn't it? From the same guys who did Gangs of Rome, I believe, if I were right there. Kevin says Joan of Arc is pretty delayed. Should have been out in November, December, but it's going to be another while yet. Do you know what the reason for that is, Kieran? Is there a problem with production? Because Mythic Games are normally pretty good about that kind of stuff. Michael says he's got a painting challenge coming up. Talking about new stuff, I'll be painting 2,000 points Night Stalker army in a month. Bloody hell, it's going to be hell for him. It will be hell, mate. That'll be impressive, mate. You need to document that and get it up on your channel. Thomas is saying he's painting some purple Seraphon for AOS and finding purple really fun to paint. Never done it before and we'll be doing a lot more of it. I quite like to use an odd strange colour. I've got a pot of Warplock Purple, which was an old kind of GW colour many moons ago. Still is more than usable. And I used that on... If you saw my video about painting snow bases, the Infinity models I painted on that, we're using that Warplock Purple. Where are we at? Tony's saying Joan of Arc now split into 2 waves. First should be April. Sean saying, Andy, why are you drinking uranium? It does look a bit glowy, doesn't it? It must be like the colour and the lights in here. It's actually just orange juice, you know, like orange cordial with water in. It does look a little bit, I'm just looking at my screen now, it does look a little bit kind of like, bit nuclear. Michael's in here drinking brake fluid. Kieran says, you're up there beside Mythic Games office. Get us the scoop. I am. Actually, it's not too far from me. Maybe I will just drop them a note and see if I can pop and see them. Todd says he's still waiting for his Nemesis Kickstarter. Inadvertently signed up for a second wave shipment as well. That's it, isn't it? Michael says it could be liquid kryptonite. You know, we're talking about Andy here. What can I say? This is how I managed to get 5 videos a week out. Drinking this, that's what it is. Kieran is saying that Tony, they had problems with the rule books, PDFs. Didn't think they made little noise towards the end of the summer. Have not kept too close an eye on it. Chris is saying McCrite Red was an amazing shade of red, but they did gutted when they stopped it. It was replaced with Mephiston, but it's not the same. Mephiston always covers really nice though. I love to paint Mephiston red. Then, oh, what's it called again? There's another one, Mephiston red. I forget what the next one is. But then there's a third, is a kind of Mephiston red. Then a highlight of this other one, I can't remember what it is. And then the third one is the Wild Rider red, which was basically orange. And it always looks really cool. Bazza says just eat 2 16-inch pieces. Hangover is just killing me. I love pizza, mate. I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I'm sure you can tell. But I'm trying my best to try and lose a little bit of weight this year. Because I've kind of put a little bit of beef on, so I could really eat 2 pizzas now, to be fair. Todd is saying, do you know if the Batman Gotham Chronicles game will be sold at retail? I missed the Kickstarter. And Christian said he thinks it was Kickstarter only. We might as well start chatting about the stuff that's coming this year, because Batman is one of them, obviously. I'm really looking forward to Batman Gotham City Chronicles coming. As we said before, I think it's going to be about April time. However, there has been rumblings that Batman sort of 1.5, Batman 2, is also due to go to Kickstarter this year. And the rumours is that it's going to be another reprint of the original version with some extra expansions on it as well. So if you already picked up the original set, you can get into the Kickstarter and pick up some more expansions. And if you missed out on the Kickstarter, it's an opportunity to get back in and buy it again. So I can't believe how much stuff you get in the box. I can't remember how much I spent on it, but I didn't spend too much, if I'm honest, because I didn't go all in on it. I think I bought the core pledge. I bought the sort of hero versus villain expansion. That allows you to play against the villains as a kind of a 1v1, because I'm pretty sure the game controls the villains in the normal scenarios. And I also picked up, I think is there a solo expansion as well that I might have picked up. But the amount of miniatures you get was unbelievable. There's something like about 150 miniatures or something in it. Where are we at? Rain is saying there's a second campaign for Batman. Yeah, that's right. Lee saying a default of painting red all the time. Love it, but also sick of it. Each new army I'm thinking we'll try something new, and I dip the brush in the red again. I'm a bit like, I kind of go between red and blue. I love painting blue and I love painting red, and I think that it comes through in a lot of the stuff that I do paint. But yeah, I'm trying new stuff. Like I don't think I've ever painted green before, which is why I went with green for my Infinity stuff, and I've never really painted anything sort of pinky before, which is why I went like that for my other Infinity stuff as well. I just saw we got Claudio in as well. He says, hey Andy, nice to have met you in person, even going to enjoy your vids even more. Nice to meet you too, buddy. Nice to meet you too. For those guys that don't know, there was a big group of the German community came over for the Kings of War Vanguard event at the weekend. Came all the way over just to play in the Vanguard event. There was about 28 of us playing, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was great to get more games in. It kind of fired me up to play more again as well. And the guys that came over from Germany were absolutely a pleasure to play against. I played against Thomas and I had a really, really good game. Chat's going fast here as well. James J saying, when painting models, do you use miniature paint ranges? I find the pots a lot easier to use and they cost less than £2. I tend to find I buy Games Workshop paints. I always have, purely because I bought a big set of them when I first started painting. I kept replacing paints as I used them up, and I've just kind of stuck with it. I've got a few privately pressed paints, which is the P3 paint range from when I used to play War Machine, and I used to pick up those paint ranges for that. And I've started to pick up a little bit of Vallejo stuff since I started using my airbrush last year. But other than that, I tend to stick to the GW stuff. Skullmunch is saying I love painting yellow. Said nobody ever. I need to try painting some yellow. I've never painted yellow before, actually. Tony is saying to Kieran, think you might be right. They're still doing update every Wednesday, which gives me a bit of confidence. They're a decent company, Tony. I mean, they've obviously got some problems, but they're a decent company. So I'm surprised that it's kind of got to this point. Especially when they've had another couple of Kickstarters on the go after that as well. Michael saying, I know what you're drinking. Liquid mold lines. That's what this is. Every time you scrape a mold line off, it disappears into the ether and it ends up in my cup as a liquid mold line. That's what it is. Marcus is saying it's Sean too true. Michael said, Skullmunch, yellow is easy, but the trick is in the undercoat. Use the yellow wash and you have no trouble at all. I've seen a few. Duncan Rhodes has done a video for Games Workshop about painting yellow, and one of the guys in my local group followed that one, and the finish was absolutely fantastic. He painted one of the Titans with the yellow method, and it looked fantastic, so look out for that one. Let's have a look. I'll try and catch up on some of these. Kieran is saying that definitely should be good. Got Mythic Battles Pantheon Kickstarter, so confident they'll deliver, but it did make me wait for Right Busters. Yeah, I'm always a bit like that when it's kind of like there's 2 or 3 still haven't shipped, or there's one delayed and they're starting a new one. It always worries me a little bit. We've got Robert Marshall in. Good evening, Robert. He says, didn't they do a Magic the Gathering board game? There is a Magic the Gathering board game called Planeswalkers, I think, but I don't know who made it. Tim says he can't wait for Hellboy after seeing the unboxing. Excuse me. Yes. Yes. I'm off down to Mantic Games next Friday to have a look over that Hellboy box set and to get my hands on the retail version as well. So I'll be doing some videos on that, so keep watching out for those. Zombicide Invader is second most anticipated for me. What's your thoughts on that then, Tim? So, I saw a chart the other day that said every Zombicide game that Simon have kickstarted has... What was the stat again? They reached the peak, I think, with Green Plague, and every subsequent one since then has funded less. And they've got the new one coming up, the Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. They've got that one coming up as well. I've never played a Zombicide game yet, so I need to do that first of all. But I'm starting to feel they're really flogging a license now. To be fair, they're almost running out of ideas with that one. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the one in space is like. Mark says 162 minis in the core pledge of Batman. That was it. I knew there was loads. Jack says if you want all GW paint like Mechrite, try Insta Paints as they do the old style GW paint colours. The old GW paints were from Coat d'Arms. So if you ever pick up any of the Coat d'Arms paints, they're the old GW ones as well. Kieran is saying, smack me about on Saturday something serious. Iron Resolves might be. Yeah, I was quite lucky. I think when I played Thomas, it really came down like literally the last roll of the game. I think the last thing I do was I force fatigued my Glade Walker onto an objective and won the game by one objective point. It was damn close. Michael says, "Get us that damn shirt." You can either go and buy this one first. Available on the web store. The Inside Out shirt, he means, that's it. WizKids, Jason saying, yes, I think that was who did it. And Todd is saying he's waiting to receive his Star Saga core game. Star Saga core game. Is this the second wave of Star Saga, Todd? Because I think the first one's all shipped, haven't they? The second ones might have already shipped as well. We've got Paul in as well. Good evening, Paul, mate. How are you doing? And Flying Mabel has just snuck in at the end there and said, all hail Bleachbone. Can't beat a bit of Bleachbone, can you? I'm a bit like that with Bleachbone. I like to use it for a bit of a dry brush highlight on ground and stuff. And Zandri Dust seems to always sneak into my stuff. I think I use it as a nice little highlight on kind of leather and stuff like that. So, let's get on with the topic anyway. We've been rabbiting for about half an hour just saying hello. So, games you're most looking forward to in 2019. What's your most anticipated games? I'll kick some off. So we've talked about some of them already. So Batman we've had a little bit of a chat about. Hellboy really seems to have kind of sort of gripped a bit of attention really, and it's been a big one for Mantic. So when the original Kickstarter went live, it pledged over $1 million. It did really, really well. Their video that they put up of the unboxing seemed to hit like 10,000 views in a day. So there's obviously a hell of a lot of interest about it. And I'm not surprised when you see just how much is in that box, how big that box is, and most importantly, well, not most importantly because that's not doing justice to the rules themselves, but the quality of the components and the quality of the miniatures that are in there look excellent. And I'm really, really pleased I backed it at Kickstarter. Those little sort of counters, the little objective marker things for the little busts, those are kind of Kickstarter exclusive at this stage. And those are the things I like to see. So yeah, Hellboy, really, really, really looking forward to that. That'll be a couple of months away. Something else that's coming out this year as well is, the name is just escaped. That's terrible, isn't it, when the name escapes me? Well, there is also Metal Gear Solid comes later this year as well. I'm assuming it's coming to Kickstarter. And there's quite a bit of interest around that, obviously with the tie-in from the computer game. It's kind of opening a few eyes of people who maybe not board gamers. So that's going to be quite interesting. I'm also interested, and this is not a new game that's coming out, but it's just coming to retail now. And this is the other side from Weird Games. So somebody was talking about skirmish games and stuff. It's probably a little bit bigger than a skirmish game, this one. But if anybody that hasn't heard about the other side, it's made by Weird Games who make Malifaux. I was a massive Malifaux fan and a player back in the first edition and subsequently in the second edition as well. The third edition of Malifaux is just been kind of beta tested. It's been out for public beta testing now. So they're trying to do a little bit of work with that. But the other side is another game that they've developed, and I'm pretty sure I'm right here in saying it's kind of set in the same kind of world. But instead of being through the breach into Malifaux, it's kind of set back in the kind of in the world, if you like, in our world, and it's what have come through the breach the other way. And the theme's really interesting. I think the sculpts of the models are really nice. I saw some today that Angel Heraldez had been painting for Weird, and they're fantastic sculpts, and his paint jobs always make them look as good as they can do as well. But the game itself, I'm quite interested in. I was really close to backing it at Kickstarter, and I decided I didn't really need it at the time. But I might be interested to go in there and maybe pick up a core set or something. So is anybody else interested in the other side? Anybody else heard about it? Well, I'm going to get a bit of feedback on that one. Let's have a look and see what we're doing. Claudio is saying to Kieran, play more of those tanky Ice King Hunters. My personally most anticipated game is Rangers of Shadowdeep from the creators of Frostgrave. Fully co-op RPG wargaming dungeon crawler. I've heard some quite good things about that actually. I think if you check out Ash Barker's Guerrilla Miniature Games, he's played a couple of games of it on there, and it looks like it's kind of how would I phrase it? It's a little bit like Necromunda Light, I think, in a fantasy setting. Tony is saying, will you possibly do a playthrough of Resident Evil 2? If people are interested in it, Tony, I'll happily do one on one of the Tuesday night board game nights, or maybe do one on a Monday night live potentially. When I did my review, there wasn't any reviews of Resident Evil up online. There was a lot of unboxings, but not any reviews. But yeah, if people are interested in playthroughs, certainly I'll do one. We've got Stephen from Steve Small World, said he's absolutely stacked at work, but he's here. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Even if it's only for 5 minutes, I really do appreciate you popping in. We've got Eternal Frost 2. You says hate. He's waiting for his hate pledge as well. Good evening, Eternal Frost. How are you doing, mate? We chat quite a lot on Twitter, for those that haven't met Eternal before. And I know it's an awkward time for you to try and make the live chat, but it's really cool when you do, mate. Thanks very much. Alex Kaiser, good evening, Alex. How are you doing, my friend? He says he's waiting for his hate pledge coming next month. Yeah, I had a little chat with Eternal today, just saying that I didn't pledge on it because I think at the time I had quite a few other things kind of going on with pledges on Kickstarter. And the trailer for it really did put me off a little bit. So I'll maybe see what it's like when it comes to retail. Where are we? Jack saying he went all in for Reichbusters. Have you seen the Project X model? I have seen that actually. Yeah, I think it was Leo had a painted version of it, didn't he? It was really nice. Tim is saying that it's bigger than Gloomhaven. I'll tell you when I see it next week. I'll tell you just how big it is. Kieran, Robert is saying he's looking forward to Hellboy and Mortal Gods. Jack's saying the Kickstarter box for Hellboy was massive. Yeah, I'm not sure my shelves will be able to take it. I think it was you, Tim, wasn't it, saying to IKEA do shelf support for Kallax. Kieran is saying Mortal Gods is a good call. Michael saying took away all the reasons not to get me the Mold Line shirt. Jack says if Metal Gear Solid comes out, it needs a mini that's just a box with legs. It has to, doesn't it? If they don't do the cardboard box, they have missed a trick. It's got to be at least a Kickstarter exclusive, hasn't it? Skullmunch is saying, for me, it's the new Lord of the Rings game, small card game called Villages, I backed last year, and also looking forward to the 3rd edition of Malifaux. Flying Mammal says Malifaux 3rd edition as well. So you guys play it much? Do you still play now? Because I've still got all my old models. It's been a while since I've kind of sort of done anything with them, but mine are all the original metal ones as well. So I've got a Lady Justice crew. I've got Colette and the Dancing Girls crew. I've also got what was he called again? Guy with a top hat. Was part of. Is it like Jack and the Rotten Bells? I think, isn't it? I had a crew for those as well, and I also had a Victorious crew. I've got no idea how they all mix together now. Whether they're still kind of in those sort of factions and things. But yeah, I used to like playing my Arcanists crews, Arcanists Guild, and a little bit of when I had the Victorias. I think they were kind of like, I forget what they were called now, but like what's the word I'm looking for? You know, like they could be recruited into any crew type thing. God, names escape me now. Todd saying Resident Evil 2 board game, of course. Living across the pond makes us Yanks get it by the middle of the year. I was really lucky to get mine as one. I must have been kind of in that first shipping wave because I got it just before Christmas. So I did hit quite lucky being able to get a review out nice and quick as well. That was really cool. Fly Mammal says maybe other side, but the Munch says no way. No way, Munch. What for? What do you not want it for? Tony is saying models look sweet. And he loves good minis. I might have so many of them. Need to go back and check out the gameplay as I'm tipping back to jumping in. Yeah, just a bit here. Marcus is saying Weird Games are also releasing new terrain. Looks really characterful. No idea on pricing though. The last time they did any terrain was those terrain clips things that they did. It was a really nice idea, but I guess it was kind of it was probably just before the time when MDF terrain seemed to become massive. But yeah, I made a board for Malifaux out of the WorldWorks print stuff and put it all onto foam core and stuff. It took me ages, but it looked great when it was all done. Michael is saying he's interested until he saw the price. That was still insane. A small company who have trouble delivering hundreds of % of the time and charge more than GW. Yeah, I mean, price has to play a part in it, but I think you also have to weigh up as to how many miniatures do you need as well. So if it costs you, say, let's just pluck a figure out of thin air. If you spend £100 on Games Workshop miniatures, but it's only half an army, or you spend £100 on, say, Weird miniatures, and it gives you a full army, which one's better value? Even if you're getting more miniatures from Games Workshop, which one's better value in the long run? You could look at it that way, I suppose. let's see. I was interested, saw the price. Skullmunch says, would we be able to see the tiles of Hereditary 2? Do you want to see them now? Is that what you're asking? Michael says, some of them minis not interested, had a shop and took it out. I think it's one of those games that needs a local community. Kieran said he was looking at the other side, but his larger scale game, 6-foot table, decided to pass. I prefer smaller scale skirmish games. I think that was the ultimate reason why I passed on it as well, mate. Lee said he's still stuck in the GW bandwagon as far as games go. I'd like to broaden my horizons, but when you have limited time, it's hard to play it all. I think you do it right, mate, to be fair. You're far... I know you like to really get into a game when you start playing it, so you're probably far better off staying with something that you know you're going to get sort of play time out of as well. I know you've been playing a bit of Underworlds as well, haven't you? I was going to say Shadespire, but it's all Underworlds now, isn't it? And you managed to take home one of those really nice trophies. I should try and get mine back out and have a game of that at some point. Seamus, I've just saw the name there. That's exactly who it was. Seamus and the Rotten Bells. I was thinking like Jack the Ripper because he kind of that's almost kind of what he was modelled on a little bit. Jack is saying that they're still tweaking the rules at the moment, but Wednesday's updates are great and hope there's more gameplay later when they finalise them. It was the first game I ever played where it felt like you played the scenario. That it didn't really matter what you killed. It was really about playing the scenario and the combos between different miniatures. And I just really enjoyed playing it. And playing Malifaux and then going into War Machine really kind of opened up my gaming. And I think it's one of the reasons I've never really gotten heavily into Games Workshop stuff, is just because I tried Warhammer 40,000 and didn't really enjoy it. I've said this many times. I played one game and the guy that gave me the demo basically just told me a pack of lies and basically steamrolled me in the game, and it really turned me off to it. And that opened me up to all the other games that were out there. And I think that's the reason I'm not as kind of sort of fixed on GW stuff, is because I've never really been deep into it. I've always wanted to play all of the other different bits and pieces. Claudio saying the Heraldus paint looks awesome on the new Weird Game miniatures. Let's see how the price tag will be. Always an important point. Michael says, in other words, I just bought a shirt. Now the rest should follow me for Andy's sake. If anybody is interested, there'll be a link in the description of this video where you can go to my Teespring account and you can purchase this shirt plus many others in different designs as well. If there's any particular designs you'd like to see, let me know, because I'm always looking for new designs for the shirt store. Thank you very much, Michael. That's much appreciated, buddy. Yes, it was Seamus. And Thomas says to Lee, especially when GW are putting out so many things, all great at the minute. I agree, it's hard to find time for stuff. Their new models are all amazing. You say that, but have you seen the new warband for Night Vault, which is I forget what they're called now, but it's the barbarian guy out of Silver Tower, isn't it? It's that race, and they're not particularly nice actually. Mercs, Skullmunch is keeping me right tonight. my brain's puzzled, mate. I had this conversation at the weekend when I was playing Vanguard. I've been playing that many games recently that I'm starting to mix my rules between game systems and my game terms and stuff. And it actually got so bad, I had to watch my own battle report on Friday to make sure I could remember the rules for Vanguard on Saturday. How bad's that? It was the weirdest thing, having me on screen teaching me how to play a game that I should already know how to play. This is what happens when you play too much. Todd is looking forward to Aliens vs Predator expansion. I haven't seen much about that, to be fair. I've seen the models and the models look great, but I don't know much about the game, I'll be honest, Todd. Skullmunch says he still played a bit but slowed down once he heard about M3E. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. He says he struggled to play the larger scale miniatures games, so tend to stick with the smaller stuff. I tend to now as well, to be fair. I mean, I've got a table in here, which obviously you can't see, but you might see on some of the videos. And it's just a couple of IKEA desks just put together for me to kind of work with. But I sit here and do my painting now. And it's actually, I think it's kind of like about 5 mil short of a 4 by 5 million in inches. It's probably about an eighth of an inch short of a 4 by 4 table. So that's pretty much good enough for me in here as well. Tony said he's also looking forward to the Walking Dead skirmish rules. Let's just say that might be part of the reason why I'm going to Mantic. Can't say any more than that. Sean is also saying, regarding the Resident tiles, your review said they were too dark, so would be worries they might not work on cam. So when I actually filmed them, they look lighter in the actual in the video of my review, because there's a light on my camcorder that I was using to record with, and it was actually kind of shining on the gloss surface of them. It was shining on the surface, and it actually made it look brighter than they actually are. And I think because I've got a black table here with the black tiles on, I'm disappointed in them. I am a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest, because when you look close, the artwork is really nice, and it almost just looks like something's gone wrong in the process somewhere, and they've ended up being darker than they intended. Because, like I said, it's not like they're trying to hide a lack of artwork. The artwork is there, and it's really, really good. It's a shame, really. Hal Martin, good evening, Hal Martin. How are you doing, my friend? He says, Andy, my brother, hope all is well, mate. Thanks as always for the show. It's only a show because you all come in. If you all didn't come in and come and chat in the chat, it would just be me sitting here talking to the lens of the camera. But it's kind of weird. I've been doing this for a while now, and I feel like we're having a conversation. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like I'm kind of sitting here on my own. It's pretty cool how it's kind of panned out. Todd is saying, I don't know why they made the tiles so dark. To me, it serves no purpose other than aesthetic. Yeah, but it's not even a good aesthetic, is it? That's the point. It's not a good aesthetic, because even the game itself isn't that dark. So even when they're in the sewers and you've got the big alligator underneath the sewers, it's still quite well lit. Even when they're running around in Raccoon City, it's still quite well lit. So it's a bit of a shame, because the artwork is on the tile. It's not like they've kind of cut any corners. The artwork's there. For me, it feels like something's been signed off wrong somewhere, I think. Let's have a look. Jason is saying he's the ultimate Omni gamer. I'll play anything, anywhere, anytime. I'm getting a bit like that now, Jason. We need to catch up at some point, buddy. You go to plenty of events. I'm starting to get to more now as well. Next time we kind of, if you're at an event, let me know, and we'll try. If you're at UK Games Expo, I'm pretty sure you'll be there. Let's get our heads together and have a game or something. Maybe good to play a board game or something. Lee says all the little guys can't hold objectives. He says you should. Underworlds are still fun. Can't get my head around Malog's mob though. The troll warband. It's just been reviewed today. He has 7 wounds. Can move and charge and hit like a truck. All the little guys can't hold objectives is the odd bit. Yeah, they're obviously just like not an objective grabbing band. They're in there to try and take out stuff. Thomas is saying he agrees that the barbarians, in other words, that's the barbarian things, are a miss. I think they're a bit generic. Yeah, there was a bit of a brief chat on our WhatsApp group the other day about it, and they were saying about how they almost look very 80s kind of GW with like a little bit oversized hands and stuff. Jack's into Lee at his first game of Shadespire again, really enjoyed it. Have all the season 1 minis, need to play this more. Yeah, I think I only missed the last 2 from season 1 as well, but by that point I think I hadn't played in a little while. Everything else from GW, Thomas is loving it at the minute though. Yeah, they're not hitting many bum notes, mate, I'll give you that. Like Lee said, to be honest, it's like you said, Andy, it's what people are playing and easy to get to the GW store if friends are busy. That said, other games have a following too. It's just a case of finding new groups. I think you're always on a safe ground though with GW stuff, mate. There's always going to be somebody playing it, and like you say, you can always get into a GW store and play stuff as well. Todd said he stopped collecting armies after Warhammer 40k 6th edition. To be honest, mate, you probably already got a load if that's the case. I've just had a little message pop up on my phone there, which is from Thomas, and he says, "Hi Andy, thanks for the honourable mention in the live stream. Claudio just pointed it out to me. Really enjoyed playing against you, and hope to see you again soon in some future event." Well, thank you, Thomas. If you ever watch this back, and Claudio, you can tell him as well. It was a pleasure to play against you, Thomas, and I would gladly play you again in the future, mate. Where are we at? Skullmunch says, just curious, have you had a chance to try the Resident 2 one-shot yet? I haven't. I have downloaded it. I saw the email come through saying that it was there to download it. I've downloaded it to my PlayStation. Just not had a chance to play it yet. We've been away at the weekend. So I was away on Saturday. I was up at left the house at 5:15. I was at Manchester all day playing Vanguard. Got back late. Got up on Sunday morning. Was filming all day yesterday, and then work this morning. So no, I've not had a chance yet, mate. But hopefully at some point this week I'll get a chance. Chris is saying there's a new warband goes up on Saturday for Underworlds. Maybe if you want to pick it up from Carson's Bazaar, that might not be bad for him. Lee says he don't know how to reply to you guys. I'm a YouTube noob. What you need to do, Lee, is if you want to reply to somebody directly, just type @ and then the @ symbol, like within an email, and then whatever their name is, and it'll just highlight it to them. So, for example, if you put @BlackJack Legacy, it lights up on my screen and I can see somebody's talking directly to me. He says they did a great job with Season 1, still largely viable at the minute. It's a good quick-fire game. Yeah, I need to get it back out. It's on the shelf here behind me. I need to get it back out. Michael says, okay, let's be interactive. I can sell you one of my shirts. Don't have channel specific, but I might be able to find some old ones lying around. That's called a jumble sale in the UK, mate. Reluctant RT said it's a great conversation, and yes, this is my first time in the chat. Very relaxed. I should start painting. Loads of people do, mate. So what you tend to find is people either come into the chat and they'll be kind of chatting away and interacting with people. What sometimes happens is people are just having their own conversations in the chat as well, just tagging each other, having a little chat. Some people just sit and listen and just treat it like a podcast. And maybe if something interesting gets talked about, they might sort of type something in, but sit and paint. It's like an hour and a half of a bit of random chat, really. We have a loose topic to try and kind of generate a little bit of conversation every week. But in general, we get a bit off topic and we talk about lots of different things. Sometimes I'll have a night that is specifically we'll have we had a Here's Negan special one night where we played it live on stream, and then that one's a bit more focused. But in general, most of the chats are quite relaxed and just kind of shoot the breeze a bit. Where we at? Chris is saying on Saturday 10 AM, be on the website. We do it at 20% off retail. Keep us in mind. Yep, always try and support your local stores. And if you can't support your local stores, if you shop online, try and at least kind of support sort of up and coming places as well. Good to see more people on the high street. Scouting the Web says that Tony sounds amazing, but it's also the role of others. Can't work it out. Jack saying he wants to try the demo of Resident Evil 2. Seen video of stuff to look out for. Only 30 minutes, which is very interesting advertisement to make you want more. I think it's great the way they've done that. It gives you that kind of gives you the feel for it, but it's just that little teaser, isn't it? Rather than giving you a demo that you just play it over and over again. When the FIFA demo comes out, I sit and play the FIFA demo too, play with my son for ages before, and then I wait for FIFA to get cheap before I pick it up. Let's have a look. Thomas is saying, "What's your website? I'll happily order through you." I'm not sure if you can put links to websites in this, but if you head across to my Facebook page, Carson's Bazaar posts quite often in there. He's got some really good kind of blog updates and stuff. There'll definitely be a link through to the web store there as well. Jason is saying he'll be at Aircon in Harrogate in March. I think I am, mate. I'm not sure if I'm going to be there for the full weekend, but I'll definitely be down there for one of the days. So we'll try and tie up, mate. We'll try and get a game in. That'll be really cool, mate. Sean is saying great idea, but easy to get around. Winky face, he obviously knows something I don't. Hal Martin is saying you should ask what everyone does while they're here. Be interesting to see what folks do. Okay, but what are you doing now then, folks? I know some of you are starting to chat. What are you doing now? Are you just sitting with your feet up watching it on the TV? Are you sitting painting? Have you got the sound off and you're just making horrible faces at me? What are you doing at the moment? Tim said he's painting Poxwalker models at the moment. I saw that, Tim, on Facebook. Have you had to strip some off? Are you not too happy with the first versions? Lee said he tried that, but it's not working. It's working for me, mate. It's coming up there. It's coming up with BlackJack Legacy in a nice orange box, so it's definitely working. Let me actually. I wonder if I can. If I flick this across to on this screen, let me try this. Right one, not that one. There we go. So you can see there how it's highlighted those in orange around here. That's what I can see on my screen. So when you tag somebody, so it's definitely working, buddy. Definitely working. Let's have a look. Peter Nicholas has said he's painting these challenge Space Wolves, but enjoying listening to the chat. That reminds me, somebody asked back in the chat, what's happening with the army? It's progressing. There'll be an update this week. I've not managed to get much paint on it, but I have managed to add to the army. So I've got more models now. I just don't have any paint on them. I'm actually missing the paint colours that I need, which is what's delayed me. And I haven't had a chance to get out and buy any. And I forgot to get them when I was at the Forge in Manchester at the weekend. I meant to pick some up. So it's the lack of the paint that I want to use that's stopping me getting the Space Wolves painted. Although I have added some more stuff to it. So we'll probably show that this week on a video. Michael is saying this is like a cafe where only Andy drinks strange drinks, which makes it a cafe-ish thing. If it's like a Dutch cafe's mate, maybe my drink's fine and it's just that your mind's a little bit puddled with the smoke. That's might be what it is. We got Bald and Nerdy in. Good evening, buddy. How are you doing? He says late to the chat but wanted to stop by and say cheers. Cheers to you, Bald and Nerdy. How are you doing, mate? Haven't seen you in a little while. Chris is saying he's writing a review for XCOM the board game. Looking forward to seeing that, mate. Adam said he's supposed to be working. Less said about that, the better than me there. Todd is saying he loves the Monday chats. Help me get my head together before work. Mondays being the worst. Well, I'm glad it's kind of a little bit of easing you into your Monday, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Mark's playing Keyforge. What's your deck's called, Mark? Have they got some funny names on them? We've got James Firth Hayden. Good evening, James. He said he's a first-time viewer. As a Stormtrooper cosplayer, I'm loving the Lord Vader helmet, dude. It's a little bit kind of washed out with the lights in here. I did say I was going to put it on last week, didn't I? I wonder if I can... That's the stand just fell off anyway. I wonder if I dare try and get it on this time. So as the top piece comes off, you're left with Vader's face there, and then there's, if I can get that bit off, there's magnets basically hold the top piece, and it makes a noise when you do that. So let's see if I can. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it on. I did say last week I was going to start a live chat with it on, wasn't I? So with that bit on, and I've got to try not to get my beard caught in it. I'm not even sure if you can still hear me now. My microphone's making a noise, so... Stick with me, gents. Stick with me. We're nearly there. There we go. So yes, that was my Christmas present from my wife. Go try and get it off now, that's the hard bit. Ugh, there we go. So yes, if I can find your name again, now it's dropped off the screen I think. Where were we? Yes, it was James. Thank you for joining the chat, buddy. Thanks for joining the chat. To be honest, I was torn between a trooper helmet. I was torn between a trooper helmet and a Vader helmet, so Vader won out. Let's get him back up there. Yeah, I did say last week I was going to start the live stream wearing it, and I completely forgot about it. Where are we at? Christian said he's just chilling there. He's just sitting and watching. Skullman says hi, mate. Henry said, "Oh, Henry Mendes. Good evening, Henry. How you doing, mate?" Said he's driving to pick up his 2 sons. I hope you're not watching as well as driving, mate. Just be listening to it. That's all you need. Steve said he's painting and eating chocolate biscuits. Nice. I love chocolate biscuits. Michael says he's just sitting there, but should be finishing his giant. It's getting a bit tedious. It's a lot of painting, isn't it? There's a lot of painting that giant. Claudio says painting a nameless Othamite for Dead Zone and eating cereals. Lee said he's about to throw Dark Elves out of the window. Robert's painting some Dead Zone terrain. Flyer Mammal says resting on the opposite end of the sofa is shown with my feet invading his space. I hope you haven't got like stinky toes and stuff, have you? I hope you've got nice feet. I'm not a big foot person. Tony said he's just sitting at the PC tonight, sleeving the cards from a game called Wildlands. I've heard about Wildlands, mate. Have you played it yet? Is it good? Skullman said he's trying to do a handstand while balancing an egg on his nose. Have you managed, mate? I suppose it's probably quite hard with Ruth's feet keep nudging you as well, isn't it? Marcus said he's just watching. The children are asleep. His wife's reading upstairs. A quiet house bliss. And then you get this Geordie coming in and causing a commotion, eh? That's just what you need. Hal said he's doing chores, laundry, dishes, cooking. He's a house husband and call it retired. I call it retired. I'd quite happy to do that, buddy. Tim says, yeah, he went far too dark with the shades. Looked crap. Easily sorted, lessons learned. Painting muscles flex. That's the way to do it, mate. That's one thing for anybody that's just getting started and they're watching this. If you do what's the worst that happens if you make a mistake? You can always strip it off and start again. So never be frightened just to try something new. Todd says, what's your opinion about Project Elite coming out from Simon? I don't know much about it, mate. Tell me a bit more about it in the chat. Project Elite. Is it a new IP? Is it something they've done before? Darren Whitehouse. Good evening, Darren. How are you, mate? Says he's based in some 12mm Starks. Actually, Callistra Wars of the Roses with a custom paint job. Sounds nice, mate. Michael says, mine is only boggled by the cat's farts. I don't do drugs, except the cat's farts. Lee says, thanks, Andy. Glad it's working. It just shows up as normal text at his end, so didn't think it actually worked. Used to Facebook, where after typing a few letters, it pops up. Yeah, it comes up as like a link thing, doesn't it? Peter says he had no Space Wolf colours either. So undercoated with Macragge and then used a very light grey. How do people feel about Space Wolves colours? I'm getting a bit of feedback on my Space Wolves video about like don't do that baby blue colour. That's not what colour Space Wolves are. So I'm a bit torn. I think that's why I'm kind of holding off painting them. I'm not I would have probably just done the standard kind of GW colours, but I'm hearing that's not what the fans like to see. What's your thoughts on it? James is saying he sensed a disturbance in the force. Jack saying screen caption moment. Lee is saying to Marcus, get the hobby out, take what you can. Mark saying not really. Drone Ayagna and Guru Denzivian Stop. These are not random names, these are just random letters put together. James says everyone run and hide. Thomas is loving the helmet. Michael said it's class TV. Skullmunch says that's an improvement. Couldn't resist. Might have to watch it there. He said, I find your lack of painted minis disturbing. Tim says, what's the safe word? And Mark said, don't take it off. Thanks very much, folks. I thought we were friends. Michael says, that's not Lord Vader, that's Lord Helmet. It's a dark helmet, isn't it? Peter Nicholas says he's painting chocolate biscuits. Bold and Nerdy says, watching while doing damage control with my 2 youngest boys. Todd says, cool, that looks like something my wife would get me. Birthday coming up. Yeah, it was either that one or a Stormtrooper one, and I thought, I've kind of got to go with Vader, haven't I? So, Chris says, aren't Space Wolves like blue-grey with brown wolf pets? They are, mate, right? But the current GW paint colours for Space Wolves is quite a light kind of grey-blue. people say it's kind of like a baby powder blue, and that's why they call them space pups and kind of like all that kind of stuff. A lot of people prefer the Heresy era, like the darker greys, and I'm still kind of weighing up which way to go. I might actually make that maybe what my video will be about with my update, is about kind of have a bit of a vote which way should I go really with the colours, because I quite like the standard space bulbs, but I just want to do something quick really. So Chris is also saying your army, your paint scheme. Yeah, I get that. Like I mean, you make a very fair point. I still don't have the colours I need though, so I will have to pick up some GW paints. Because I think all I've got really is a Fenrisian grey. I did have a can of the Fang spray can. I was thinking of just using, but I want to use my airbrush because I think I'm just going to do all the highlights with an airbrush rather than using them for like painting tutorials or anything like that. But I'm looking over there because they're all over there at the minute, all my Space Wolf stuff. So yeah, I might just stick to the standard GW stuff. Jack says these Space Wolves are based army paint the wolf grey. I might have to have a look and see how dark that is, mate. Is it quite a dark grey or is it a bit lighter? Because actually, if I start with the Fang as a dark one and then maybe come in with a Fenrisian grey and miss the middle one off, but do it with the airbrush, that might give me the extremes I want. James says always the dark side of BlackJack. Always the dark side, of course. Christian says space should be a blue grey. Vallejo game colour. Have a great trio to get you that right look. Or army paint is wolf grey. Skullman says he's painted Space Wolves pink. Does that make them what's pink wolves? Oh, it's because the Ben's been watching what's it called, that baby shark thing, and I keep seeing that little pink fox thing called Pink Fong. That's what I was thinking of. Marcus is saying good advice, mate. Have some Blood Bowl Elf Union to build. They're mega fiddly. Might end up out of the window just like your dark elves. And Lee saying long fangs, like them Mechanica standard grey fur to the Heresy colours, and the law usually just described as grey. One of the only chapters that didn't follow the Astartes. Yeah, I'm trying to keep them all without helmets as well, other than the odd one, maybe like a leader or something like that. I also, actually, I'm not going to tell you what I did, because that's what's going to be in my video, in my update video. If I tell you now, you'll not watch it. So, what else we got here? James is saying Space Wolves were his first 40k army. There was a colour grey that GW did, which was a cool colour that wasn't Space Wolves grey. Just can't remember what it was now. Yeah, I've been looking at the different greys that I've got to try and see if any of those really kind of fit with what I want to do. But I think the way GW, I'll tell you what, I'm going to find it on the GW Paint app. If anybody's never seen this GW Paint app, it's definitely worth downloading it. So you might not be able to see it on the screen there because the screen's really white. But so they do an app here, and you can choose by paint color or you can choose by miniature. If I type in here Space Wolf, I should say. It helps if you spell it correctly, mister. Space Wolves. So what it does is it gives you a picture. I'll try and get it so it's not on the. That might be a bit better. It gives you a picture of the miniature, and then there's little lines coming off and tells you how to paint the different colours. So Space Wolves armour, it suggests that you base coat it with the Fang, layer it with Rust Grey, and then highlight it with Fenrisian Grey. But what I think I might do is base coat it with the Fang over a Zenithal highlight, over a Zenithal prime, and then I might just go straight with the lighter Fenrisian Grey, and it'll naturally be a bit darker because it's got the Fang as a kind of as an undertone. I might just do that and then get in some Agrax into a bit of a pin wash. Leasing to Marcus had to attach a thumb to a witch elf. Heard the Union team is really bad too. Skullman says, screw the system. I'm painting my Ultramarines purple and the Blood Angels green. Do it, man. Do it. Just do whatever you want. Chris is saying down with Smurf Marines. James is saying, I wish the GW Wolves had better beards though, and I don't like those weird sideways quiff things. Yeah, that's the only thing I do feel is a little bit weird. There's one where they have like kind of like half a haircut kind of thing. I don't know who I am to comment on people's haircuts, but like, yeah, they do have this really weird It's a really weird thing. Oh, my subs have gone a bit nuts in the last week or something. I've been sort of getting some good subscriber numbers, and I'm 3 subscribers of getting the 3,700 subs. I was hoping I'd hit it today, so who knows? Fingers crossed there. So yeah, if anybody hasn't subscribed, if you want to go and subscribe, that would be awesome. Thanks. Where are we up to? Chris is saying the Citadel Paint app is a great piece of kit. It's really, really good for giving you that kind of base colour, mid-tone and highlight. It saves you trying to kind of work it out yourself. I'm getting much better at being able to eyeball paints and be able to see which ones will make a nice little trio up. But if you're just starting out, that paint app is a godsend. Todd says Army Painter has a space wolf called Wolf Grey. It looks close to the artwork colour. I find it really hard to get Army Painter paints like locally. I have to kind of travel to get them. I don't think there's anywhere really local, which is one of the reasons why I've always just ended up with Citadel paints, because you can just go to a local GW and pick them up. James is saying, then of course I turn to Dark Angels, keeping it dark side again. You'll see you've got a bit of a dark side to you there, James. That's what it must be. I've just noticed you've got the Stormtrooper helmet there as your little avatar as well. Lee says, I can send you some pics. I bought the Burning of Prospero paint guidebook. It's worth a look. I'm with the unpopular opinion though. I like the blue-grey. Yeah, I think I do as well. I like the fact they're not too dark. It's like when I did my Ultramarines. I did them a bit lighter than the standard kind of Ultramarine blue. It came up to a little bit of a kind of a pale blue-grey kind of highlight to it as well. So I think I'm just going to stick with the standard colours, and I might miss the middle tone out to give a bit of an extreme kind of comparison. But with it being airbrushed, it'll blend a bit more. But please, yeah, if you've got any pictures, mate, ping them over, mate. That would be really cool. Thanks. Todd says he painted his wolves that colour from Prospero Burns, and Skullman says eyeballing paint sounds painful. Glenn Griffin says evening all, late joining the stream, but we'll watch and what I miss on the rewind. Glenn, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. You missed me putting this on earlier on. It's a bit of a risky business putting it on my own. You kind of get your beard trapped in the bits where they clip together and stuff. But yeah, you have to rewind back and watch that bit, mate. James is saying that's me on the helmet, part of the Imperial Outlanders group. James, I don't know if you're a member of my Facebook group as well. If you're on Facebook, head across to Facebook and look for BlackJack Legacy Tabletop Gaming Group. And if you click to join that, it'll come through to me and I'll approve it. Share some of your Stormtrooper pictures. I'd be really interested to see them, mate. Surreal. Good evening, Surreal. How are you? It said, you Gloomhaven. You Gloomhaven. What does that mean? Do you ask me if I've played it? Do you ask me if I am Gloomhaven? Let me know what you mean. Christian says, if you go to the Vallejo route for Space Wolves, you want Sombra Grey, Wolf Grey and Ghost Grey. I actually use Ghost Grey Primer. And that is quite light, that, isn't it? It's quite nice. It says mix 2 parts black wash to 1 part blue wash for the shade. Ooh, interesting. I never thought about mixing washes. I've never done that before, actually. Skullmoon says, I Gloomhaven. Is this kind of like an what's it called again? Like a pronunciation? I'm Gloomhaven, you're Gloomhaven, we're Gloomhaven. James says he will, mate. Thanks. Cheers, buddy. I'll look forward to accepting that. Tony says a Space Marine chapter colour guide in this month's Conquest. Seems to be quite a few. Speaking of that, I picked up the latest White Dwarf at the weekend. I've not had a chance to read through it, but I'm quite impressed with how it's looking. It's less of an expensive advert now, isn't it? There's a lot more details in it. Glenn says, definitely have to see that. You definitely have the black and red Sith colour vibe going on. Quite like the black and red, like quite like that. And Flyer Mammal says, or something to James, in Gloomhaven I am. Tim says, quick question, chaps. Watering down a shade. Do I use water or use Larmium Medium? Go with Larmium Medium, mate. If you water it down, sometimes the pigment gets a bit funny and you get really bad tide marks because of the amount of water that's in it, and it causes those kind of, like a tea stain type thing. If you use Lamia medium, it keeps the consistency but thins it, but like lightens the colour. I would go with Lamia, mate. Michael says, so Gloomhaven is a thing. Apparently so, mate. Apparently so. So, bit of an update then, bits and pieces, what we've got going on. I don't know if you saw the announcement today, either in the Facebook group or on Twitter, that the Drowned Earth have announced that they are attending our event, the Tabletop Weekender. So that is March the 22nd to the 24th at Element Games in Stockport, just outside of Manchester. They're going to be running a one-day kind of slow grow campaign, where, anyway, all the details are on the Facebook group, or if you head across to the Drowned Earth Facebook group, they've announced it on there as well. So anybody that isn't coming to the Tabletop Weekender yet, the Tabletop Legacy, or Top Table Legacy Weekender, it helps if I get the name of our own event right. Anybody that isn't coming yet, go and check it out. Still trying to pick up a ticket in time for March, and it's going to be a really, really fun weekend. Plenty of stuff to do, plenty of stuff to play. So that's that bit of news out the way. Videos this week. So tomorrow's video, you'll get to see my review of Legendary Marvel Studios, the first 10 years, Phase 1 deck building game. What a title that is. But that'll be up tomorrow for you to watch. There'll be an army update on Wednesday. I'm just looking at my list on the wall there. I'll have a painting tutorials on Friday as always. They seem to be doing pretty well. What do people think of the new painting tutorials? Are they useful? This week I'm going to be doing the Walking Dead Here's Negan miniatures. So if anybody's wondering how to very quickly get your survivors looking a little bit better than grey plastic, that'll be what Friday's video is about. Let's have a look. Tim says, cheers, testing now. You're welcome, mate. Lee says, new White Dwarf made me become a subscriber again. I've never been a subscriber, actually. I tend to pick it up now and again. I picked this up because when I was going down to the event on Saturday, I was really early. And I knew the place wasn't going to be open yet, so I stopped off at the motorway services and picked this up at a WH Smith's to have a read through. But actually, by the time I got there, I had a cup of coffee and didn't really get a chance to read through it. So I'll pick it up. I'll read through it at some point. James said he's not that impressed with the new White Dwarf. Still bought it though. Conflicting there. One person said it was great. One person said it didn't. Chris is saying to Tim, Lamia medium, basically what a shade is made of, just without the colour, which means if you don't have a shade you can quite easily make your own. That's true, mate. And Carson's is saying to Thomas, if you want to subscribe to White Dwarf, consider us. Fly Marvel says, what a title. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Legendary Marvel Studios, the first 10 years, Phase 1, a Marvel deck building game. So yeah, you'll look forward, or you can look forward to seeing that tomorrow night. Jack said, where are we? Skullmunch says, do you have a predetermined amount of players for a game before you review it? Yes, I do. I'll only review a game after I've played it a minimum of 3 times. I don't think once is enough. I think I'm still kind of learning the rules the first time. The second time is almost me just making sure I know the rules. And then the third time is when I'm trying to kind of get my head around it. So if I've got a review on the channel, I've played the game a minimum of 3 times. Where are we up to? Jack saying, shameless pug. Shameless pug. Why would we have shameless pugs and poor little dogs? What have they done? Shameless plug. He did an interview with James Baldwin, the creator of the Drowned Earth, a few months ago. If anyone is interested in reading it, pop a link, mate, in the Facebook group. I'm sure people will want to, because I definitely do. Flying Mall is saying to James, cosplayer, you troopers are everywhere. Awesome. Christian has been reading the Drowned Earth rules. They seem quite good and relatively easy to learn. And the miniatures look amazing as well. Definitely want to give it a try. If you check on the Facebook group as well, there's a guy called Ian Ross in there. If you can't find his pictures, just tag him and he'll share them. He's painted loads of Drowned Earth stuff, and he's done some really nice tables to play on as well. So if you haven't seen what they're like, it's definitely worth checking them out. Bald and Nerdy said, have to head out to pick up my oldest from school. Hope you all have a fantastic night and day. I'll try to be better at catching these awesome chats. it's really awesome for you to call in, mate. It doesn't matter if you can come in for 5 minutes or you stay for the full 90 minutes. It's really nice that you come in, so I really do appreciate it. Thanks very much, mate. Have a nice day. James is saying that he joined his group nearly 2 years ago. He love it. It's run by Ace Cosplayer. She's a YouTuber. I recognise that name. I thought I'd seen it somewhere before. Lee's saying, yeah, it's not necessary now. Not necessity now. Only £1 off and a few days early. Gone are the days you got priority tickets to games day. Yeah, I guess it's just the fact that it's kind of, it just comes through the post. You don't have to go and get it, and that's pretty much it, isn't it? Jack says he looks forward to seeing your painted Hayes Negan minis. Yeah, they're grey plastic at the minute. They've got sand drying on the base, ready for the painting video tomorrow. Glenn says, Andy, do you know if the base game for Dungeon Saga has gone out of print? I was having a look on the Mantic site the other day and it didn't seem to be there. Not as far as I'm aware. They could potentially be out of stock, but I have heard rumours, and I think it was kind of hinted at the open day last year, that there might be some new Dungeon Saga stuff coming in the summer. That could be completely wrong, so if it's not right, I apologise, but I'm sure there's some kind of update or something to Dungeon Saga coming. So maybe if they've run out online, maybe they're not restocking. Maybe it's just a glitch. I would maybe just maybe check out the Kings of War Fanatics page. Somebody there might be able to tell you. Skullmunch says, Kill Team Arena looks interesting. Do you have to have the Kill Team core game to play, or can you get into it just the arena side of things? It looks like Kill Team Arena comes with a board, with some terrain, with a couple of... It looks like it's going to come in a starter box. I'm not sure if it will contain the core rules as well, or if you'll have to buy the core rules. So you might be able to buy the Kill Team Arena set, and then maybe buy the rule book for 20 quid or whatever it is as well. But well, I guess we'll know more soon. I'm quite looking forward to it as well, because it might kind of get me playing a bit more as well. Michael saying, looking forward to Kings of War RPG. I've never played an RPG before. Steve from Steve Small World really kind of kindly invited me into his Dungeons and Dragons group, and they play by Skype. I couldn't make. We'd arranged a couple of times for me to join in, and I had a couple of problems with the little one not being very well and being up all night and stuff, and I never managed to join his group. But at some point, Kings of War might be the one that gives me an opportunity if I can find a few people to play. Henry said he appreciates the love for my Crimson Fists in the new White Dwarf. Yeah, they're getting plenty of love on there, aren't they, the blue boys there. Mark says there's a Dungeon Saga RPG coming with Red Scar. Is that the Kings of War one, mate? Is it, or is that a separate one again? And Carstens is saying, I'm guessing you'll need a core rulebook. I think I've still got a core rulebook to give away. So what I might do is I might do a giveaway in, where will I do it? Probably do it in the Facebook group, I think. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, head over and I think I'll sort a giveaway out and you can win a copy of the core rulebook for Kill Team. So there you go. Actually, no. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it as a giveaway to my Patreon subscribers. I've not done anything for them yet. So if you're interested in subscribing to sort of supporting the channel a little bit, even just a couple of dollars a month, and you want to join the Patreon, again, there'll be a link down in the description. I'll be doing a giveaway over there as well. So thank you to everyone that already donates. I'll be doing something to give back to you guys. James is saying, I do fancy Hayes Negan. Could be a salute purchase. It's a great game, mate. Definitely worth it. At least giving it a try. Top Table Gaming. For the game Drowned Earth, while James was writing it, we did an RPG of the world to help him write the lore and the fluff. I thought I'd read that somewhere, mate. That's really cool. Mark says, I think it's the Kings of War, but with all with the same IP. Name is changing too, so it won't be called Mantica. Oh, I didn't know that, mate. They're moving away from. Is it going to be called Rentica? Something like that. That'll be interesting anyway. So How are we doing for time, folks? We've been going about an hour and 25. So another 5 or 6 minutes left. So we've not, we as I mentioned before, we have a rough topic to kind of start, but then the chat goes its own way. So we've not really chatted about much about the games, have we? So I apologise anybody that tuned in just to talk about that. We have talked about a few games. I think what I'll do is I've got a video coming up later this month, which is kind of, if you remember last year I used to do kind of what's coming in the next month on Kickstarter. I've got one of those coming at the end of the month, so watch out for those. Just looking at my list of stuff, if I've got anything that I want to share that I've got coming up on the channel. Next Monday's chat. The topic for next Monday's chat is solo games. So that can be what games make good solo games, what are good solo games, what solo games do you like playing, which two-player games do you like to play solo? Is there any games that have solo expansions that, so for example, something like we chatted about, Imperial Assault, is a 2-player game minimum, but the companion app turns it into a solo game. So yes, next week, solo gaming. Michael is saying, start with a one-shot, like Dread. If that doesn't suck you in, don't start. Game in combination with good GM and the scariest thing you can experience. I think it's just the lack of a kind of local group. I think, mate, that's what stopped me playing really now. Carson says the core rules of 25 quid and he knows a place you can get it with 21.25. Michael says Rentonia, and there goes the brake fluid again. Jack says they're stopping the big box of Kill Team soon. You need the core rules to play the new Kill Team arena. Fly Mammal says, or play a 2-player on your own. And Skullmunch says, new Lord of the Rings game can be played solo. Awesome news. So yes, next Monday's live stream, solo games. I'll get that live stream posted up there. Normally what happens is you get a couple of you'll get, I think it's a couple of days beforehand. Normally it normally kind of comes on my feed to say that there's a live stream coming up as well, just to remind people. Glenn says, when you play Arkham Horror solo, you'll know true horror. Yeah, I've not played it yet. I'll have to play it at some point because I need to do a review on it. But yeah, James is saying, I'm off now. Nice chatting to you guys, and you, big man. Latest taters. Cheers, James. Thanks for coming in, mate. Don't forget to join the Facebook group so I can see those pictures as well. That'll be awesome. So we're coming up to the end now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of the Kill Team core rules. I'll be doing that on my Patreon page. So anybody that would like to support the channel, like I said, even just a couple of dollars a month does help. Please head over there and consider joining. Let's have a look. Carson's is saying that it was dropped from the stock list last week. Yeah, somebody was asking me about that, and I'm not sure if they're dropping it because they've then got this Kill Team Arena set coming, or if they just physically can't keep up with the demand. If they don't think they'll. To be honest, I think one thing is happening is people are just buying it for cheap terrain. I think that's the problem. Michael says, "Oh, Fly Maul is saying good night or morning, everyone." Michael saying, "Good to see Dreadfleet on the shelves, by the way." Yeah, I must get that painted up at some point. Thomas says, looking forward to the solo games chat next week. Thank you, Thomas. See you then. And Steve Evans says, cheers, chaps. Christian says, thanks, Andy. Night all. So with that, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you very much, Peter Nicholas. Thank you very much, Tim Kelly. Thank you very much, Marcus DeCole. Brilliant show. Cheers. Thanks very much, everybody. Don't forget to give the video a little like. Please leave some comments down as well, because the live streams don't get a lot of comments, and that does drive YouTube to share it with other people. If you've not caught up with some of my videos from the last couple of weeks, please do consider catching up with those. And I'll have hashtag Top Bands again next week. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.